Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while since I've posted content, and that is just honestly, I've been so busy trying to adjust to my new job and the Etsy store and life. So I got a little, just swept away in all the chaos. But I wanted to get back to making content, and I thought what better way than to do a nice little WIP and chat. So I'm actually not filming in my art studio upstairs. I have a diamond painting desk, which is located in my actual work office in my house. And anytime I live stream while I diamond paint or make videos, I typically have to drag everything up to the second floor, get it all set up, and then, film, but then bring it all back down to my diamond paint desk, because this is where I have all my pens, all my putties, all my waxes, all the accessories we need. And so it's kind of a pain in the buns. I've thought about ways to move it up there, but honestly, it's easiest to have it down here. I can diamond paint a little while I'm waiting for dinner to come out of the oven or any of those reasons, and it's down here and I'm not tucked away in my office or my studio upstairs, but still. So I thought we'd give it a shot now that the kids are all in school and it's a little bit quieter here, although they have a half day today. Quite the bummer. And the day I'm finally caught up on everything, they get a half day, and then it's President's Day weekend, which I totally forgot about until when my coworkers brought it up in a meeting. And I'm like, oh no. But they don't just get Monday off, they're off Friday too. I'm like, oh, for Pete's sake, because do kids go to school anymore? That's my big question I'm going to throw out there. Do any other parents feel like their kids are just off every other week? It's hard for parents if you're working and stuff and your kids aren't old enough to be home alone, because all these days off school aren't necessarily days off of work. So I guess, oops, I totally screwed that up. I guess it makes me more thankful I work from home and my work is so flexible with that kind of, reality that, hey, my kids will have days where they're out of school. So it's nice to have that, but not everyone has that luxury. So yeah, it'll be an interesting end of the week. My youngest has a birthday on Sunday. She'll be turning 8, which is just crazy to think about. It's always I think it hits you harder with your youngest as they age, just because, I don't know, the older ones, you're like, yeah, you're there, but your last one, your baby, you kind of sit there thinking, oh gosh, here we go. And then it's like a good and a bad, you're like, okay, well, there's some things they can start doing more independently, but also here comes the social life and more sports, or at least that's how it was with my other two. They've got social lives and sports, and basically that means I have no life. It's funny because a few of our friends have newborns, and I used to just think, oh gosh, a newborn is so much work. And then I always told myself when my kids got older, I would finally get a break. And then in reality, there was a little bit of a break. But yeah, in reality, when they get older, they get into sports, they start making friends, and they don't have driver's licenses. So that means you have now become their personal taxi around town, and then some. So it's always funny. I always tell people, I'm like, no, bring me back the sleepless nights and unpredictability, because at least I know I'm not going to be driving 5 teenagers around, or, last night because of the way my kids' sports overlap, and when my husband's on duty, I'm basically like a single mother at that point, juggling all their sports. And my youngest had gymnastics from 4:30 to 7:30, But then my other daughter had ballet from 6:15 to 8:30. So basically I would pick up one, bring her home. By the time I got her home and, told her to go get ready for bed and stuff, I had to turn around and go pick up the other. And then same thing with the drop-offs. It was just, there's so much time in between that you can't just like wait around for the next one, but not enough time to like run errands. And like on, one of them I had to, need to move you over. On one of them I had to run home and eat dinner because I hadn't eaten all day. So yeah, it's just crazy how you run around and you're trying to like figure out and optimize the time. You're like, if I do this or so yeah, it was a long night last night of just driving everyone. My oldest is 15. Well, oldest in the house, I should say. My actual oldest is 21, but she's not in the house and she's in college and can't really help out with this stuff. But my oldest in the house is 15 and he doesn't get his license till November, but I'm counting down the days because he's one of the most tedious for driving. He's in comp soccer. And of course, he's a teenager, so he has a massive social life. So I'm just driving him all over the place. Tournaments, practices, games, rinse and repeat, friends, parties. I don't know. It's, I don't remember being this social at this age. My mom says I was, but I'm like, was I really? I don't recall being. I mean, my mom let me drive, to be honest, illegally at 15 because she was a single mom and couldn't handle taking me to all my sports. They didn't really do buses out in California where I grew up like they do here in Utah. So a lot of it was parents had to drive you. So like my mom couldn't leave work, because she couldn't afford to just miss hours. So I had my driver's permit, but yeah, I ended up like driving without a license for a long while. And yeah, I mean, I did fine. It was I was always on edge and I was responsible. It was just me and my sister I was allowed to drive to and from school and sports, and that was it. And then fun fact, I went to take my driving test and failed, and I felt like yelling, I've been driving for a year, but you can't really admit that now, can you? It was like a minor technicality I failed on, but still it was pretty embarrassing considering I had been on the road unsupervised for quite a while. In California freeways and everything. So I was sitting there like baffled. I was like, what? But yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to get this channel back up and all my channels. What happened really was in November, I was offered a job. And for those of you that like follow me on my coloring channel, you're kind of more aware of it, I guess. But I had left my one job that dropped me down to part-time because the stress and the income just weren't worth part-time, wages and all that. So I had dropped that job and started my Etsy store. And then was working really hard to grow that Etsy store, just doing every tactic, all this research. I mean, it was like, I'd spend hours and, building an Etsy store and getting consistent sales doesn't happen overnight, ignore those videos that say it does, they're lying. You have to build a repertoire with Etsy before you get all this glorious traffic. So all those videos that were like, yeah, this will happen in, a month, they're lying. They're skewing a few things of the truth there. But I did a lot of work. I did a lot of research. And then, of course, right when I was like in the sweet spot, my store started taking off. And then I got offered this job. And I was like, thing is, I wasn't ready to go into a a high stress managerial type position. I am the director of operations, which is a indeed high stress managerial position. And I was like, oh, but I am also an adult with a mortgage and kids in very expensive sports. So I had to take it. It was too good of an opportunity. But then I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my store? I spent months and money, you know, getting inventory and all the supplies I needed. I was like, I can't just, you know, ditch this out. And especially with it just suddenly like starting to click and sales coming in. So I had to kind of find a way to, one, finish out a ton of orders I had, but two, then work on trying to find a balance. And to be honest, since November, I've been trying to work on that. I did hire an assistant to help with production, but she uses like my secret recipes and all that. I still make the wax melts and stuff though, and occasionally I'll sit down and make batches of putty because I find it incredibly relaxing. But yeah, she'll help me with a lot of like order packing, or she helps sometimes make batches of sticky wax and putty if I don't have time. But it's been interesting to try and find ways to keep my store rolling, simply because I just can't like give up on it. I spent so much time and invested so much time to get it to what it's doing now that I was like, I can't just close it down. And you can't go on vacation mode. Etsy penalizes you for that, which I find ridiculous. But yeah, so I've been really struggling to juggle that and find some balance. And I was kind of working myself into the ground. Not gonna lie, I kind of feel like I did burn out a little. No, I did burn out. Not a little, I did. And so my channels just completely got ignored. My coloring channel, I wasn't doing my usual Sunday streams and all that. I had to stop because basically on Sunday I was like a zombie. Mentally just drained, physically drained. I was like, I can't sit there and talk and color for even an hour. I would try and I'd make it like an hour and my brain was just like, nope. Streaming is a lot of work. So if you watch, whether it be diamond artists or adult coloring and they're streaming, keep in mind it is an effort. You leave your live stream and you're like, oh, my brain, because you're doing something creative. So you're tapping into one side of your brain, but then you're also having to read chats, carry on a conversation, and, you know, at least appear semi-coherent. And so you're just bouncing all over within your own head. And it's a lot, especially on my coloring channel, because I do tend to get a lot more people in the live chat. And it just, I mean, I'll look down to do something and look up and everything has changed. So the more busy it gets, the more work it takes. But yeah, I just kind of fell off the planet there. And then I was like, okay, first of the year, I'm going to get back to content because I love YouTube. I love making videos. I just love it. And so not making content was really starting to bum me out. So I was trying to find like a way to integrate it back in. And every time I thought like I had just finally gotten a grip on the chaos that was my life, something would come up, you know. We had like a major thing of strep and flu epidemic like float through my house and just continually recycle. It was insane. And yeah, every time I was like, I'm on track, you know, guys, I'm going to start posting videos. Something like that would happen. Which I guess is part of life, right? I mean, let's just say life never just coasts along. But yeah, so that's like kind of the long story short. I mean, there's a lot more in depth in there. I just don't want to waffle on. I love that word, by the way. A lot of the people I work with are from the UK. Oh, I've learned so much UK words, and I'm just thinking, gosh, you guys have so many cooler like terms for things. So, Like I know people in the UK, instead of calling it whip and chat, it's like their whip and waffle. I just love it. But yeah, so instead of waffling on, just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on that. I am trying though, and I'm hopeful that by sitting down and finding a way to record for this channel without carrying everything upstairs will get more content. I really like to make ASMR videos for diamond painting, and I want to make more of them simply because I enjoy watching them. I really enjoy editing them. It's just so relaxing. I mean, it's ASMR, so I guess it's doing its job, right? But I just find it very soothing to record them and all that. But we'll see what I can accomplish, I guess. I'm really worried about this color. So I'm working on Susie Snowflake. It's from Dreamer Designs. It was my January project. And I'll be honest, I did not do a lot of diamond painting in January. I was also still working on my mom's Christmas present, which is a diamond painting that I'll resume after this one. I needed a break from that one. But I've been sitting down lately and really belting out a lot. And that's because there's like a book series I'm reading. So I've just been listening to the audiobook. I like find myself super ready to go. I'm like, I can't wait to sit down and listen to this book. I stay up all night reading it too though, so that's not really helping my sleep. But I'm like, what happens next? For those who are into fantasy books, and I really want to emphasize fantasy because this is a hardcore fantasy book. I know a lot of people think of like all Game of Thrones and stuff, and that is also a pretty, in-depth fantasy book, but this one more so, and it kind of touches on topics that could offend people if they don't quite understand fantasy writing, deep fantasy writing like this. But it's it's a corn now. A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm on book 2 now though. And I absolutely love it. I love the writer. I had originally started on her other series first, but I got mad. I'll go back to it later. Sometimes you fall in love with a character and the author does something to that character and you're like, okay, I'm mad now. I'm not watching, or I'm not going forward for a bit. I need to cooling off. So that's what happened with that one. But I went to this one and instantly was in love. Her writing is amazing. I'm not the biggest fan of the one doing the Audible for this one, but still, I'm just so in love with the story itself that I'm willing to look past that and keep going. But I haven't really been able to color much, and a big reason for that is I've just been so bogged down or stressed that about all I can accomplish is diamond painting. And I tried to explain it to someone because adult coloring is relaxing. It's definitely a form of therapy for me. No doubt. Never going to say it's not. However, it's sometimes not as relaxing as we need it sometimes. Like when your brain is just so full of everything bothering you, say it's work, life, marriage, whatever. When your brain is so full, adult coloring can sometimes be stressful. At least for me, because I start thinking of shadows, color palettes, what do I want to do next here? I need light source, things like that. Whereas diamond painting, I don't have to think about any of those things. I don't even have to worry about sharpening a pencil. Changing out putty is like as extensive as it goes. But I can sit there and just dot away, filling the blanks, and still creating something beautiful, but not having to stress over all the other fine details like I do with coloring. So I've been doing a lot more diamond painting, and honestly, It was the beginning of February when I like realized I wanted to just keep diamond painting, and I had only had like a row of squares done for this, and then I just suddenly started belting out tons. So I finished it super quick, or well, I'm not finished, but got to where I'm at super quick. So it was like a leap in my productivity. But yeah, it's just it's so funny because when you're a kid, you're just like itching to be an adult. You want to be an adult. You want to be in charge. You don't want any of this crap where you have to listen to your parents or, you know, I don't know. You just want to feel free. And I always tell my kids, I'm like, here's the sucky part. Once you're an adult, you're actually not free at all. You're more free as a child. Yeah, you got rules, you got chores, but, you know, at the end of the day, my responsibility list totally trumps you having to do the dishes. Like, I want to go back to those days where my biggest, like, irk of the day was the fact that my mom made me do the dishes. Something like that, you know. But, yeah, it's just crazy how busy life can get, and like, I'll sit there thinking, oh, I need to film, or, oh, I want to film. And then it's insane how much time has gone by, because then I'll look at my channel and be like, oh my gosh, have I really not uploaded a video in 2 months? Like, cause that's what was basically happening with this channel. I'd be like, oh, it's only been a week. And then I'd look and it was like a month. And then same thing with my coloring channel. I was like, well, I uploaded something I thought last week, and then it turned out it was 3 weeks ago. So I've been really trying to catch up with that, and just get better about that. But I think I'm getting there. We'll see. I do have to travel next month for work. I was really worried when they first announced it was going to be in March, because that's when my daughter's dance competition season starts. But luckily, her first competition, because I didn't want to miss that, is the week before. Oh, actually, not even a week. It's like literally 2 days before I have to fly out for work. So that was quite the relief. I would have felt awful that I missed it, and just mad because I've dedicated so much time in my life driving her there. I mean, yeah, there's other competitions, but this is her first year competing, so this is literally her first competition. So I didn't want to miss that. You know, with my son and his soccer, it's a little different. I'm like, I've been there, done that for a few years now. If I miss one game, it's like, I'm fine with it. But yeah, so we have that, and the Etsy store is still going though. I've just changed things up a little bit on how I do orders, and wax melts. I'm working on my March scent list. In fact, I need to get some more supplies here soon, but I've been kind of thinking of some fun scents. So I have the limited edition box, right? And I've been really scratching my head on the scents I want to offer for that one. I really, really want, so I have a scent that smells like Irish Spring soap, and I'm hesitant on it because I don't know how many people would like it, but it's actually so refreshing, and it's almost kind of like brings me back to my childhood. So it's like one of those scents that really like sparks thought. But I have that one. There's also this clove and aloe scent. I'm going to see if it'll work out. I don't know if it'll carry well in the wax. Putty, yes. Wax, I'm not sure. I gotta test it. I am going to do though, what is it? Irish coffee or Irish cream or something along those lines. That one I'm doing. And then there's another clover, sorry, I meant not clove, another clover scent I was gonna try. But yeah, and then of course just the wax melt scents of that month. You know, I want to be springy, but I normally have the scents planned out by now. I've been really struggling with Marches for some reason. But March box you will definitely want to check out. So I have my usual custom tray that LEP and I have collaborated on. It's gorgeous, by the way. It's like this deep green color, but with gold flecks in it. Pictures don't do it justice. You have to see it in person. She sent me a video and I was like, oh my gosh, that is magic. And then I'll have my, limited edition wax and putty, sticker, and cover minder. I'm debating on what cover minder I want to design, so that's still up in the air, but that one's not stressing me out. I also now partnered with Shimmering Canvases, which if you've been in the diamond painting world, I'm sure you've heard of once or twice. I have tons of their pens. Her pens, I should say. Like, I got some right here. 2 more I bought while we were working out deals for what we're collaborating on. I was like, hey, can I get that pen? I paid full price, by the way, but I was just trying to snag it before it sold out because it was my favorite color and they sell out. And someone had beat me on Etsy and I was, on her website, but she remade it just for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're the best. So she is now stellar, on top of my list, but we are now collaborating and I'm going to start including themed special drills in my limited boxes. So we've collaborated on a color for March's box, which I think you guys will really like, but I thought it would be like a fun little twist. And then the cool thing is they're going to be themed for that month. So like if you have a St. Patrick's Day themed project you're working on, you can, use those drills and supplement where you want. And there'll be AB drills. We may add some fairy dust ones and some future ones. But yeah, I'm going to start doing that in every month's box. There will be a bag of custom drills that you can use to supplement and add a little extra sparkle. Because, sometimes we'll get a kit and just think, gosh, I wish it had just a tiny bit more. And that's basically what we'll be doing. So I'm collaborating with her on that, and that'll be monthly. And also, she and I are collaborating on some mini bundles. So keep an eye out for that in my store. The bundles will be cheaper than the limited edition boxes for a lot of reasons. They'll come with either just a wax or a putty, a cute themed tin with wax in it, a cover minder, custom drills from her, and stuff like that. March's box will actually be one of the most affordable. And the reason for that is because I am not going to have a pen included, I don't think. I've been on the fence about it, but I might skip the pen to kind of lower the cost this time around, and then maybe bring the pen back in April. I just don't feel like every month we need a pen because, goodness gracious, how many pens do we need? Says the girl who has more than enough pens and keeps buying them. But I know not everyone needs pens. In fact, I may swap the pen to part of the premium box upgrade. And then that way the box price goes down for everyone and it makes it more affordable. However, I will warn you with the March box being a lot cheaper because we don't have the cost of the pens in there. They will sell quick. The January one sold out in not even a day, and the February one was gone in I think 4 days. So yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. It will be cheaper, so it's going to go a lot faster. But I'm really excited about it. I may change my mind on the pen. If I do add the pen though, like I said, I think I'm going to throw it in the upgrade version because I'm debating. I don't have the time this month to turn pens. That's one thing, because I can't decide on what I want to pour, and at this rate I would be working some killer hours to pour enough blanks and start turning enough pens for that box. So no matter what, I just don't see it happening. I had thought about getting some wood and just turning some wood pens. Maybe paint them with a coating of resin and some glitter, but just turn the pens out of wood and put that as the premium. I'm thinking on it. We'll see. I need to find a wood though that I would like as for the pen base. So you see the problem there. Too many things to decide. And again, even if I just picked out wood, cut it to size and started turning it, turning is not a quick process. Yes, that lathe is moving at an insane amount of speed, but the process itself is not quick. However, turning a wood pen is 10 times faster and easier than resin, that's for sure. I can even use different tools or tools that aren't as expensive when I accidentally snap a head. And I don't have to worry about resin just shimmering my entire garage. So the resin is also really hard because it just gets all over you when you're turning it. And I hate the feeling of it on me. So I may do the wood one. Like I said, I'm on the fence with the wood ones. I shall let you know. I'm going to make a decision though by Friday. I told myself, must decide by Friday. So we shall see. Let me know what you think. Like, would you like a box without pens, or do you like the box because it has pens? It's always nice to know. I do have a YouTube channel for my Etsy store. It's just, I tend to talk about my Etsy store here more, and I can actually use the products here more. And honestly, I just don't know if I need another channel to babysit. I got enough. I have my coloring, my watercolor channel. Every day on my to-do list is film. And I'm almost like, it's almost just become a joke. Because it's like, are you really going to film though? We know you're not. Often it's just because I'm so tired, especially with my insomnia. That's the other thing. The insomnia is really starting to get to me, and I don't know what's causing it. I've had bouts of insomnia in the past, though. Like, it's not something I've never had, but... And I don't know if it's also possibly the books I'm reading at night. I get so excited and want to keep reading that it's hindering my sleep, which could very well be the problem. Even though reading is a much better way to relax than like watching TV, right? But maybe I need to read a boring book. But I don't want to read a boring book. I want to read this one because I really, really want to finish it. Oh gosh, I wish I could talk about the book. Fun fact, I do actually have another YouTube channel I made, but I've never posted on it. It's still just floating there. But I had originally started a channel for book reviews and stuff because I love to read and I wanted to do reviews. And I've just never gotten around to it. It's quite a bummer, actually. But I would absolutely be insane to even try tackling that channel in my current position with everything going on. So I just tell myself no, even though every time I'm like, oh, I could totally start it. And then I'm like, no. So maybe one day down the road, I don't know. But yeah, the insomnia is really starting to bother me. It's like it's weird. I can't fall asleep, but even though I'm really tired, but I also can't stay asleep. And I do have a medication, you know, I don't mind sharing openly. I suffer from OCD and anxiety. So, you know, I do have medications, especially for the OCD and whatnot. But so occasionally the OCD flares up, which then in turn flares up my anxiety. Sometimes it's the opposite. My anxiety flares up my OCD. It's like a lovely little pairing, to be honest. You never know who's going to aggravate who, but one of them will aggravate the other and they will both show up. It's like, it doesn't even matter which one got triggered. You know, if one's triggered, the other's coming for you. But I've had, you know, like I can't fall asleep. And then when I do finally fall asleep, despite being like dead tired, again, I'm like barely keeping my eyes open, even reading the darn book because I'm so tired. But by the time I fall asleep, then I wake up. And I am an early riser naturally. I wake up at the same time every day, whether it's holiday, weekend, whatever, just because it's actually good for your body to do that. But yeah, it's like I'm waking up a couple hours before I should, and then my body and brain just won't go back to sleep fully. It's like this foggy, weird sleep. I don't know how to explain it. It's not pleasant, and it's not restful. I had to take a quick break to drink my Starbucks that arrived, and then I sat here like, what did I leave off on? I really don't know. But yeah, let's see. So I guess I've talked about kind of the March box and what to expect on that one. I really appreciate all of you who have been supporting my business and buying those March boxes, and then just the excitement that you guys have for them every month. Not just March, but all the months. It's really touching, like if I get a message, you know, saying, hey, is this out yet? When's it coming out? It's just nice knowing you made something that people are excited over. So I do appreciate all the support I've been getting for that, for sure. But yeah, let's see. What else is there? It's so funny because I'll sit there thinking about a ton of stuff I could talk about while working on my projects, and then when I actually sit down, I feel like I've been talking for a while, and then I'll look up and it's like 15 minutes. So I'm like, okay. Didn't cover as much ground as I had planned. But let's see. Oh, I know I was talking about how I have insomnia lately. So I don't know how I'm going to fix that, but I got to do something because, you know, when you just don't get good sleep, you wake up feeling crummy, for one. You know, your motivation is just gone. And I know, at least here in Utah, and other places that get, you know, snow and have the traditional winters of not a ton of sunlight, so you may understand this, but you get kind of those winter blues or whatever they call them, just because you're not getting vitamin D and anything else really, and stuck inside. Although, to be truthful, I enjoy being inside even in the summer, so don't know how much that plays a role, but yeah, I just the bad sleep lately has really been messing with me because I really want to get back in shape. I've lost weight, but it's mainly because I've not been stress eating, which I guess is a good thing. I normally stress eat, but instead now I just stress not eat. Went like from one extreme to the other. Yet I'm not losing any weight, but it's because I'm not eating enough for my body to be willing to burn what I eat. So that's, you know, not the best, and it's just not healthy in general. But so I've been trying to focus on that, and then every day I'm like, I need the energy to work out. Like, just get started, because, you know, every workout, like, inspirational things always says, like, just start. It's gonna be rough, just force yourself to start, which is true, because it's really hard when you're not in the mood to work out and to make it part of your life and your routine, especially if you don't do it all the time or never have. You really do have to just start it and get it going. But with the lack of sleep and stuff I've been dealing with lately, it's just not that easy. Like, I can't just start. Like, I'm physically exhausted, and by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon I've basically checked out, because my brain is just like, you know, from tossing and turning all night, my brain can't really function past then. And it doesn't help that I'm supplementing with coffee throughout the day, but I do make a point of like not drinking caffeine past a certain hour. And by that I mean like no later than 10. So it's not like I'm drinking coffee late at night to keep me awake. I don't know, I hope I can either figure it out, or sometimes when I get these little bursts of insomnia, they kind of work themselves out, but oops, this one's a little tight because I was off on the row next to it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they work themselves out, but other times it takes longer, and I'm just getting impatient simply because I have so much to get done for work and just family and everything. So it gets a little flustering when you're just like, okay, I am monsterly tired and I just don't have the energy to do any of these things, you know. So, and I know I'm not the only person in the world with insomnia by any means, but yeah, it's just, it's definitely affecting like anything I do, especially like around bedtime or afternoon. I tend to get really cranky, I've noticed, and I hate that because then, you know, the kids will be doing their usual bickering, sibling bickering, but I just don't have the patience anymore by the afternoon to deal with it because I'm working on no sleep. So then I'm just like, you know, you get mad easier with things that really never bothered you before, but now you're just like, so it's, yeah, I don't know. And there's so much I want to get done for self-care because I've kind of neglected self-care, but it's like I'm too tired to self-care. Too tired to care about my self-care. That's a new one, right? But I'm making some good progress on this one. I do like bringing my tripod down here, and I think I will do that more often, simply because I'm testing it out, working out of a shelving unit. In fact, let me see if I can, hopefully no one gets dizzy. See, all my trays are right there in a shelf. So I've been working out of a shelf unit, so all my drills are already kitted up into the trays. And for this one, every single one is in a tray. And I've been working off that, and I feel like it's easier. I'm not constantly pouring and dumping and all that. But like I said, moving this upstairs is pretty tedious and a pain because I'd have to carry this big shelf up along with all my diamond painting, my refills of putty and wax, and then after I film whatever I film, drag it all the way back downstairs, and by then you're like, oh, for Pete's sake. So yeah, I do like this idea. It's so much faster. Just go grab my tripod and bring it downstairs. And with the kids in school, it's a lot quieter. So I think I'm going to do that from here on out. But I'll call this WIP and Chat done for today, just because I don't want to drag it out, or I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that could be lack of sleep for sure. I have like this loose piece that I use to just cover the spot I'm working on. And then I've got to go get back to work and pack some orders. Lots to do, but not a lot of energy. But thanks for hanging out with me for another WIP and Chat. Like I said, I'm going to work on getting these out more and kind of getting back on track. I think this channel will involve, to be honest, a lot of WIP and Chats, maybe some tips here and there. I'll keep them brief. Some shorts, just because I enjoy those, that I'll make ASMR, but a lot more will be just WIP and Chats, unboxing kits, you know, maybe I'll do some kit ups and kit down chats, but it'll be a lot of more chat related because I do so many reviews and so much on my coloring and watercolor channels that this almost would be like just the place to hang out and share a craft, show diamond paintings when they're done, of course, but not have to sit there and like do in-depth reviews and worry about this or that. So that's kind of the plan I'm taking with this channel, so that it's not such a chore or feels like a chore. So you'll have to let me know what you think of that. But until next time, everyone, take care. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye now.